So meditation, it doesn't just need to be an enquiry into a deeper spiritual meaning. Do you know, meditation, it's a useful tool to be a coping strategy for your everyday life. Because when you sit, when you meditate, and I'll just briefly talk through the process of, well, at least my approach to meditation, is that you become the witness. Do you know we have absolutely no control over the nature of our thoughts? Thoughts, they can be considered to be uninvited guests. You have no control over the nature of your thoughts. I'll say that again. Now, when you come to meditate, you sit and, if you like, you can call it self-enquiry, but it's a process of witnessing. It's a process of familiarising yourself with yourself. So as you sit, there's no purpose, there's no agenda. You're just being aware of all that arises. So we notice the body, the physical sensations. That's why it's important to be as very much at ease with your posture when you meditate. And to be at ease with your posture is to be at ease with yourself as well. But when you come to witness, this introspection, as I said before, we have no control over our thoughts. And in the process of meditation, you're observing your thoughts. Thoughts arising in the stillness, in the sanctity of your mind space, without your involvement. And this is important. Without your involvement, the thoughts will soon dissolve back into that stillness. Thoughts are temporary and ephemeral in nature. So by not giving the thoughts your attention, they will soon dissolve. Now, where you have no control over the nature of your thoughts, to some degree, and this is where the practice of meditation, self-enquiry comes in, to some degree you can become aware of your reaction to any particular thought. And there is such a power, such a magic in that slight pause. The thought arises, we observe, we witness, and then it's up to you as to whether you want to engage with that particular thought. And if you're meditating, no matter the nature of the thoughts, you just witness, you observe, and without pushing away, without denying, you then just let them go. So how can this relate to day-to-day life? How can it be a coping strategy for your everyday life? Well, just as we have no control over the nature of our thoughts, so we have no control really over what happens as we move through our lives. We can make plans, we can have ideas, but life is random. You have absolutely no idea what will arise in your day. And just as you witness your thoughts, so this process of meditation, you take it out into your day. You take it out into your life. And whatever life or whatever arises in your day, in your life, again, just as when you meditate, there's a moment or two where you can judge your reaction to whatever it is that life sometimes throws at you. And again, there's a magic, there's an empowerment in that witnessing of your day, of your life. And so you're not then maybe drawn by your emotions. It gives you a moment or two of clarity, because really you might think you can control your life, but that's where sometimes the stress and the anxiety comes in, because life is uncontrollable. Make a plan, have an idea, and then maybe that plan, that idea will come into fruition, but maybe not. And this again is where the process of meditation comes in, because you're then gauging your reaction. So maybe you won't get as worked up when things don't go to plan. Maybe when things like fear and anxiety arise, and it's arrogance to just think that you can ignore fear, you can ignore anxiety. I'm not saying that, but the more familiar you become with these life patterns, these reactions that you have to the stimuli in your life, well then maybe you will find a little bit more peace, a little more clarity. Now, if you want to like the video, help me with the algorithm like it, subscribe. What I can do now is I just share with you a very simple meditation, a simple self-enquiry, which goes really through the process of what I've been talking about. So sitting, and like I said before, sitting as comfortably, sitting as effortlessly as you can. There's no tension to your shoulders, palms. Now I like palms facing uppermost, but do you know, listen to your body. How does that feel? Maybe you prefer to have your palms facing down. There's always a sensitivity in your approach to your practice, which is ultimately your approach to yourself. And then as you sit, either just gazing vacantly into space, or you maybe close your eyes, connecting first with your breath. That gives you something tangible upon which you can bring your mind to focus, and also something tangible upon which you can bring your mind back to focus. So you feel, you experience the ebb and the flow of your natural breath. And maybe there's a stillness, maybe already there's an experience of clarity. And usually it doesn't take too long for your mind to make itself known, thoughts arising, and we all have this capacity where we can witness our thoughts, we can watch our thoughts. So thoughts arising in the stillness, in the sanctity of your mind space. The thoughts soon dissolving, and if you find yourself becoming involved with a particular thought, that's when we move back to our breath. So if you find your mind drifting, if you find yourself distracted, so you return your awareness back to the ebb, back to the flow of your natural breath. As we sit, as we share this moment, there is no agenda. You're not waiting for that better version of your life. You're not waiting for that better version of yourself. This time, right now, is an immersion into all of the aspects, all the subtle aspects of your being. So still to feel the ebb, to feel the flow of your natural breath. Maybe you can hear also the soft sighing sound of your breath. And then you can complete one more full breath. Close your eyes, rest the palms of your hands together. So to seal this short practice, when you rub the palms of your hands together, you create warmth. When you feel that warmth, then resting the palms of your hands over your closed eyes, and then to draw your hands slowly down your face, allowing now the light to filter through your fingers. Thank you.